I talk, you listen. Welcome to my one-man panel of madness. Hey everyone, this is DoctorWho, and we have some late breaking news. Well, as of a few hours ago. Of course, I go into my Twitter because I've felt the universe say to me, you have to check your Twitter, and I normally don't. And of course, what did we find out this morning, at least for us here in the U.S., but the news that Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall are to leave Doctor Who in a trio of specials in 2022. Now, this is both exciting and sad, so we have to be sensitive to those who are big fans of Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor. Now, we know that it's been a bit of a rocky few years. There have been those who really like Jodie Whittaker and those that don't. Some that don't want a female doctor, some that do. So there's those that liked Chris Chibnall, those that don't. Now, I'm going to talk about my own opinions and ideas. Okay, they're not fact. They are just me and what I liked and disliked about the 13th Doctor's tenure. Now, of course, this comes back to the leak or supposed report that we saw not too long ago, actually, where it was reported that someone from the Doctor Who team apparently had mentioned to one of these YouTube leak programs, YouTube channel shows, that the Doctor was supposedly going to leave at the end of this season. That the next, that there was only going to be this one season more, series 13, and then there would be a few specials, and then she would regenerate. So I was trying to do my homework before I came on to record this to see if I could find who was it that said that, and I can't find it now. But I know I did see that on one of these leaked videos that are in the YouTube world. So kudos to them. I'm sure right now they're going, see, I told you. So anyways, what does this mean? On one of my segments when we had the Comic-Con trailer and teaser, and just so you know, this is going to be a part 1 and part 2 because I don't want to keep these way too long. So anyways, my very first segment when we talk about the Comic-Con trailer, a lot of people noticed that the name, the image, the new image is being used for Doctor Who, which is her shirt. It's the rainbow that's on the Doctor's shirt, was also on the image of Doctor Who coming this fall, whatever. And at the last trail end of it looked like it was almost regenerating. So maybe that was a clue. And I'm not saying that I came up with that. That was something I also read online, but it made sense that the trail end of the colors were starting to kind of mush almost, it was almost looking like they were regenerating. So that could have been exactly what this one person wrote, and I agree. And so we do now have official notice. This isn't a rumor. This isn't something that somebody came up with or that somebody at a bar whose friend's sister twice removed told them, and they wrote it down in a napkin, that the Doctor is regenerating. So we do know now from what's coming in is that we are going to have specials in 2022. So it looks like we're going to have to wait until 2023, which is the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. Very unusual, though, that a showrunner and the actor playing the Doctor decide to leave a year before the 60th. You would have thought that they would have wanted to stay and helm that 60th anniversary. So as of now, we don't even know. So we'll get to speculations in part 2, but let's get to what we do have right now. So we do know they are going to be parting ways. There's going to be as it states here, thanks to Doctor Who TV, Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall to leave Doctor Who in a trio of specials culminating in an epic blockbuster special to air in autumn 2022 as part of the BBC's centenary celebrations. Oh, okay. So, of course, she took over as a doctor in 2017. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of going through what they've actually released so that we know what's happening. But in the actual release from the BBC DoctorWho.tv, we do see that there is going to be a 6-part event serial announced for the autumn, and the 2 specials already planned for 2022. So that's 8. So it looks like essentially we are only getting 6 episodes of Doctor Who this year. Because if this is the same part, but we're not sure. It could be 6-part event. I'm not sure. They don't really say that exactly what the 6-part event. It just says 6-part event serial announced for the autumn. I'm assuming this autumn, and then a 2 special already planned for 2022. The BBC has now asked for an additional final feature-length adventure for the 13th Doctor to form a trio of specials for 2022 before the Doctor regenerates once more. So it looks like that 8 episodes that we were given is actually just 6 for this year, and then the specials next year would be the 2 specials that they want, and then a feature length. So 3 specials next year, and with the regeneration. Now, this is what this says here. So we think about this. All right. So I guess we're not getting all 8 episodes this year. I wish they would have said that, because they did say there was going to be an 8-episode series. What does this mean? Did they actually have this plan? Did they know about this before Comic-Con? Obviously they did, but with all the joy that you saw Jodie Whittaker have, it's like, did she know all this? Was this something, why was this announced days after Comic-Con, about 4 days after the Comic-Con panel, when they could have said everything there and then? So it's just weird the way this is being done. I wish we could have had the 8 and then maybe do a little more specials in 2022. But we're going to have some Doctor Who in 2022, which for me is always good news. We don't want to go a year without it, which means that 2023, we know we have to have something. So will we have a special for Doctor Who, or are we going to have a whole new series for the 60th celebration of Doctor Who? So that's in the future. We don't even think about that right now. So, a lot to think about. All this stuff kind of coming in within the last few hours. And, of course, more information I'm sure will come to light as we get closer to the fall. And, of course, looking at all the commentaries and people, Jodie Whittaker was very well loved as the 13th Doctor. There were a lot of young ladies who were inspired to watch Doctor Who. And as I read many of the comments on Twitter, a lot of mothers said, this Doctor was my children's first Doctor, and the one they'll remember the most, quite possibly. So I want to make sure that people are very sensitive when they discuss this, because, it's something that a lot of people are very happy about, but there's also the other side of the coin where a lot of people are sad. And this reminds me of 2017, when I learned earlier on I believe it was in February 2017, I think, that we learned that the Doctor was going to regenerate, or 2016, I think, it was when Peter Capaldi made the announcement that he was going to leave the show. And I was very upset, because I am still a very much Peter Capaldi fan as the Doctor. I love Peter Capaldi in general. I'm very excited that Suicide Squad is coming out next week, and I can't wait to see him in that. But I know what it feels like when, you don't, your Doctor is going to regenerate. You wonder, how's that going to happen? And what will be the new Doctor, So let's be kind to each other as we talk about this with friends. And unless you're in a group of friends that completely agree and they all are very excited, then cool. But just remember, there are some people out there that, they are sad about their Doctor regenerating. So, headline news, so it's official. This is not made up. It's not something somebody just decided to put on YouTube. It's not speculation. It is official. One of the things that Chris Chibnall did mention in the article, that Jodie and I made a 3-series and out pact with each other at the start of this once-in-a-lifetime blast. So now our shift is done, and we're handing back the TARDIS keys. He goes on to say that Jodie's magnificent, iconic Doctor has exceeded all our high expectations. She has been the gold standard leading actor, shouldering the responsibility of being the first female doctor with style, strength, warmth, generosity, and humor. So, that's something interesting to think about. She did bring about a levity to Doctor Who. It wasn't as serious as some of the previous generations or regenerations. It was very much more playful. Like I said, not so dark toned, but it had some very good storylines that I liked. At least I liked. Again, I did like the Fugitive Doctor idea. Of course, there were some episodes that were hit or miss that I just could say, I don't really need to watch this one anymore. But it was funny because we introduced this show to a friend of ours who has passed, and it was her first entrance into Doctor Who, and it happened to be a female, and she liked it in the beginning, but then as we went on, it just seemed to become not as much fun for her. So we saw that, someone new to the show, they had some really good episodes, but then she wasn't interested anymore in watching Doctor Who. So, of course, Jodie had her own comments to say, talking about, that she felt that this was a gift box, size 13 shoes, that she got to do, all this. My heart is so full of love for the show, for the team who make it, for the fans who watch it, and for what it has brought to my life. And I cannot thank Chris enough for entrusting me with this, with his incredible stories. So, there's also a very close, a quote from Piers Wenger, I think that's his name, director BBC Drama, that says, I know, here we go. Over the last 4 years, Chris and Jodie have made Doctor Who history, and their time on the show is indelibly marked on our memories. From Rosa Parks to Ascension of the Cybermen, Chris and Jodie have given Doctor Who some of its most life-affirming and tear-jerking moments to date, and we are beyond excited to see what they have in store in the new series this autumn. Jodie's final adventure to mark the BBC's century in 2022 is set to be a Doctor Who special to remember. I'd like to thank them both for their incredible work on the show. So we'll see what all of this means. And, you're going to have to listen to part 2 of this late breaking news, so that way you're not stuck listening to me for hours on end. So make sure to listen to part 2. Bye.